So the Chicago Bears just got a couple pieces of pretty good news, and this is really good news pertaining to the upcoming NFL draft. We could have an additional third rounder this year and next, but it requires a loss in the front office. And also in this video, the Chicago Bears are adding yet another young piece to their offensive line room, and this is with the NFL offseason in full swing after that Super Bowl win by the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm just going to go straight to the quote of what I'm talking about. Bears assistant GM Ian Cunningham. He will interview for the Jaguars general manager job on Friday, per sources. Cunningham is a strong candidate and has been since Liam Cohen's hiring to land the job. And this is from Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated. So we're looking at a Valentine's Day interview. I hope he still makes plans with his wife. But Cunningham is among the handful interviewing. Many national insiders feel he is the lead candidate, that it's his job to lose, that it's his job if he wants it. We should know by the end of the week who gets this gig. But we're talking about Cunningham. He's been an asset here, helping Ryan Poles. If he takes this Jaguars GM job, the Bears will get a third-round compensatory pick, not only in 2025, but also in 2026. And now he's already been interviewed multiple times for the Titans job this year. He interviewed last year as well, most notably with the Cardinals. Look, I think Cunningham's done an absolutely great job here. He's been a huge assist for GM Ryan Poles. He's a big asset, but I'd absolutely love to have these extra picks. And then we'd be looking at adding a third to our 2025 NFL draft. Man, that would give us our own first rounder. That's number 10 overall. The 2 second rounders at 39 and 41. One of them from the Panthers. Man, that trade just keeps on giving. And now we currently have a third, the 72nd overall pick, a fifth, a sixth, and 2 sevens. So we've got a lot of work to do in the trenches in Chicago. There's so many high-profile players already coming out that are available to trade for. I mean, we've been hearing about Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett. Now, most recently, Micah Parsons is being linked to the Chicago Bears. Max Crosby. Those are the big-name guys. And I mean, I don't know if I want to take these big swings at these high-profile players, but to even consider these players, more draft capital we have to work with, the better, right? I love adding this to the already 4 picks we have in the top 72 picks. And if you want to take a swing at one of these guys, I mean, you're looking at, if we had a first, 2 seconds, and 2/3, I mean, you're looking at Montez Sweat only cost us a second. What if one of these players could be had for a second and a third, and we can get the player in town, pay them, and still have a first, second, and third left? I mean, so ideal. Then you're looking at other players becoming available like Deebo Samuel. We're going to have a ton of other players coming up that are available to trade. If we have this extra third rounder, we're talking about 5 really marketable, tradable picks that we could do in a player deal if it's the right player, and still be able to do our due diligence in the draft and get players that are going to help us immediately, because you can get blue chippers in the first and second, sometimes even the third round. So I just really love the possibility of this. And kind of a little more on Cunningham. Started his career as an exec with the Ravens under Newsom, personnel assistant there, 2008 to 2012, area scout for the team from 13 to 16. And then he got hired by the Eagles. From 2017 to 2021 as director of college scouting, assistant director of player personnel, and eventually director of player personnel. Then he went to Chicago in 2022, and he served in that role since. So the Jaguars kicking off their GM search this week. By all accounts, Cunningham is at the top of the list. And you've got some other company interviewing for the job. Greenberg out of the Buccaneers organization. You've got Rams director of scouting, James Gladstone, got some other guys, but by far all signs are pointing to Cunningham being at the top of the list there. And I think he deserves it. We're going to know soon. I'd really love to have those picks. But now let's get to the offensive linemen. So while the Bears have been entrenched in offseason activities, better part of the last month, coaches being hired left and right. Let's get down to what really needs to be fixed and that's the trenches. And we've made some roster moves since the season ended, but all of them have been reserved future signings with the 2024 practice squad players. But now the Bears officially can announce that they've assigned former LA Chargers offensive guard Jordan McFadden. He is officially on the team. And let's break this down a little bit. He's free to join his new team now. He can begin working to earn a place in the Bears' rebuilt offensive line rotation for the next season. So this is a guy that fell out of favor with the Chargers, but fortunately for McFadden, the Bears are now offering him a fresh opportunity to earn his keep in 2025. And this is as we kind of look to construct a sturdier offensive front, to say the least. Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times. We don't want to see that again. And the thing with McFadden, he is very versatile. He's played multiple positions. He was waived by LA heading into its wild card matchup against the Texans. And this addition comes at just the right time. We can get a head start on rebuilding this offensive line. And I'm going to be honest here too. McFadden is not a huge acquisition, but he could wind up being a significant role player if he pans out. And also a nice indicator of Jordan McFadden, and I'm going to go to this, and this is the main thing that I want to talk about while this is encouraging. And you guys know our GM Ryan Poles, he really adheres to the standard of RAS scores. That's a main indicator. And we're looking at Jordan McFadden as an offensive line prospect, and he scored a 7.1 RAS out of a possible 10. This ranked 360 out of 1,236 offensive tackles from 87 to 23. So this athletic profile is fantastic. Elite scores in the 40, the 20-yard split, and the 10-yard split. I mean, this guy is athletic. And now thinking about bringing a guy with this ability on, we now have an elite offensive line coach in Dan Ruchar. This guy could get coached up, he could stick, and he could end up being a key reserve. This guy is not a starter, so I'm not going to overblow this. But kind of a little bit on McFadden so you can get to know him a little bit. He was selected in the 5th round, 156 overall by the Chargers in 2023. His rookie season, he appeared in 12 games. He started 2. He played a total of 163 offensive snaps, and that was about 20% of the team's total offensive plays. And he was also on about 12 snaps, less notably on special teams. And then you look at him making the Chargers 53-man roster in 2024 with Jim Harbaugh taking over. He ended up inactive most of the year. He only dressed for 1 game. And head coach John Harbaugh, he actually talked about converting the guy. He's 6'2", 303 pounds. Actually tried to convert him to a fullback, but they ended up keeping him on the offensive line and didn't really utilize him. But the simple fact that Harbaugh was looking to convert him, this guy has athletic ability that maybe we can exploit. Never really found a solid footing in the new offensive scheme. That's a Greg Roman offensive scheme that really is a lot different than what they were running before. Just not a really good fit. But if you look back at his time at Clemson, he set Clemson's record for starts by an offensive lineman, and this is really encouraging. He could be of use in Chicago as a reserve. You looked at what Matt Pryor did last year, kind of a similar player profile. He played both right and left tackle, but when he came to the pros, his size really necessitated a move to guard in the NFL, and that's where he will likely try to earn a spot in Chicago. But at the very least, McFadden, what are we looking at here? A cheap flyer for the Bears to take a look at in this most significant position group on this team. Pretty cheap. Carry a cap charge of $1.03 million this year and $1.14 million if he makes the 53, respectively. And that's during the final 2 seasons of his rookie contract. Not an earth-shattering move, but this is a guy that is already being added that could be a key rotational piece on this team. The good thing is now every player that we have now, we know that he's going to be coached up and that he's going to play to the best of his ability. And if he doesn't work out, that just means he's not any good. I have full faith in Dan Ruchar. He is a big get as an offensive line coach. And I just wanted to let you guys know about these things. instead of chasing rumors about Micah Parsons and other players. This is actual real news. So, hey, let me know in the comments what you think about Ian Cunningham, if you think he'll be missed in this front office, and also if he leaves, who you'd like to see come on as a new assistant GM. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bear down, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later.